It's always around here. I hope nobody's in my spot, so we'll see when we get there. Nothing too crazy, but better than it was. I actually have a actual fire pit now to burn in. I had to scoop it out and kind of throw it all up underneath the logs. Dries everything out a little bit. Won't hurt nothing with all the ash over there. Now we're ready to build a fire. I'll show you my favorite fire lighter right now. I buy these little fire lighter matches and I actually split them in half. A half of one, really about all you need if you got everything set up right. I should have more, but I got a little bit of kindling, big handful of kindling there. I got some medium stuff there, and that's pine, so that'll catch really, really quick. A little bit just throw on top, and then some real firewood to split up. That'll last me for a while. Took all about 30 seconds. I'd definitely say that's on fire. Time to play one of my favorite games. What's in the pack? Supposed to get down to about 40, so I got a sock hat. It'll be a little chilly in the tent tonight, not too bad, but got my cook kit. What is it? Toke 700, Tokes 500, my BRS stove, and some gas. This is just a plate and a skillet. Walmart special right there. Nemo Philo pillow. I really like this guy. Take it every time now. Today I'm back out with the Mongar 2 again. I'm really liking that tent. There's the floor for it, the ground sheet. There is a rain suit, even though it's not supposed to rain. There's my Ditty / electronics bag. Brand new for this time, the Nemo Tensor insulated. I was pretty stoked when I got this, so hopefully it works out pretty well for me. And the North Face Eco Down 0 degree. A little bit overkill for 40 degrees, but I promise I will sleep like a baby tonight. Now it's time to set up the tent. Maybe tend to the fire a little bit. It's starting to die down. Hopefully this time I can get dinner going while it's still daylight and I'm not cooking for you guys underneath the headlamp. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how that's going to go yet. I'm going to get my tent put together and drink a beer and then cook some dinner. Now that the tent's all set up, let's take a look inside. See what kind of goodies I left from last time. Not much. Some pine needles. Looks like a couple feathers floating around. I don't know what sleeping bag, I forget what sleeping bag I had last time. I mean, nothing too crazy. This is the only downside to stuffing your tent. You can see, I mean, it looks like origami, but if I stretch it out, it'll be a lot smoother tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna peg the corners out. The weather ain't supposed to get too bad. Now, to try this Nemo, and I'm moving up in the world, I've got me a handy dandy pump sack. I don't know if I like that too much yet or not, but we'll see. Found a stick underneath my tent. I felt something somewhere. There, it's gone. So I'll pump this up and we'll take a look at her. Well, there she is. What did it take, about 7 or 8 times to fill in the stuff sack? And it's only like the second time I've done it, so I'll probably get down to less than that, but hopefully I like this thing. It's like the second most expensive piece of gear I own. Oh, there's a little bit of sticker shock, but I mean, it's supposed to be a nice one, so I bit the bullet and bought it. I'll let you know what I think about it tomorrow. One thing I like about the Nemo Philo pillow, its stuff sack is integrated. So there's no way to lose it, so I don't have to make sure to tuck it away somewhere. It stays with the pillow and just tucks inside of it. If you haven't seen one of these, it's just a regular blow-up pillow, but there's maybe a 1/4 inch foam pad on top of it. Makes it feel a lot more like a real pillow. Getting a good night's sleep when you're out in the woods is a big deal for me. Looks like a pretty legit little pillow. Then all you gotta do is tuck this inside. You don't have to, but it keeps it up out of the way. It's not rustling around at night. Got a little piece of Velcro to keep it in there. And you've got a pretty legit little pillow. You can see it's pretty wide. It's nice and soft. It's not all crinkly like the other ones are. I mean, that is super soft. I like it. I'm gonna go put it in the tent. And now, what I think is my most expensive piece of gear, I'm pretty sure. Sleeping bags are stupid expensive. It's about the best deal I could find on a 0 degree down anyway, was the North Face Eco Trail down, 0 degree. I don't think it's touted as one of the best 0 degree bags out there, but I want to say sub $300 for a down bag, which is pretty cheap. It is pretty big. It doesn't stuff down all that great, but I really like it. It's super wide. I don't want to lay this thing on the ground. It's super wide. I can lay it on my side and bend one of my legs, bring it up to my chest, whatever. There's enough room. It's not a mummy bag where I'm laying there like this all night. I'm a side sleeper, so I can lay on my side and bend my knees and have a little bit of movement down on the bottom, move my legs. All that extra space is extra weight, but I'm more than willing to carry a little bit of extra weight for some extra comfort. Now that everything's in there, we'll take a look. Hey, I just realized my sleeping bag matches my tent. And my pad matches my hat. Nice. Works out. So there's what we got, folks. It actually looks kind of legit, don't it? I started out with the crappiest gear from Goodwill and Salvation Army, and I slowly, piece by piece, just ended up upgrading stuff. I'd say now I'm hovering most of my stuff. I don't like to spend much over like the $200 mark on even the big items, just because if anything happens, they get a hole in them or get dirty, or a dog tears a hole in them, something, whatever. I don't want to have to replace a $500 or $600 piece of equipment. I can't hardly bring myself to buy it in the first place. So a $200 backpack, I think it's only $160 tent, a $250 sleeping bag, a $200 pad. It's got a little bit of cash into it by now, but nothing I can't replace for yeah, 200 bucks. 250 I think is the highest thing for the sleeping bag. So it does me pretty good. I'm getting old. I need to start using a sit pad. See how this works. Should be all right. Now it's time for my favorite time of the day. Beer 30. A lot of people, oh, Foster's, you like Foster's, why? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Funny story, because when I first started coming out and doing backpacking, I went, hear me out. I went to the liquor store and bought almost every different way to carry beer I could think of. I had 12-ounce cans, I had 16-ounce cans, aluminum bottles, Foster's, 22-ounce cans, 24-ounce cans. I bought one of almost everything I could find, took it home and weighed it all, and the lowest weight per ounce that I could find, the cans must be thin or something, was the Foster's. And that is why I bring Foster's when I go out into the woods, is simply because it was the lightest way I could find to bring me some beers in. Cheers. First time taking this knife out. More classic, I believe, is what it is. It's one of the longest knives I could find for like under 50 bucks. Let's see if you guys can see this, I forced the patina on it. It's a high carbon steel blade. I wasn't really particular if I got stainless steel or high carbon, but it ended up being high carbon, so I had to put something on it. Like I said, first time having it out, so I'm gonna try to put in a little work with it real quick, see how it performs. It should perform okay. I got a little bit of firewood. I'm gonna split some of it up. I don't need to split up too much, but I'm gonna cook dinner here when I'm done with this, and I wanna get some coals, so I wanna maybe quarter this up. See how this knife works out for me. What was it, 35 bucks, 40 bucks, something. Fairly cheap, but we'll see. This is the first go around for the Mora Classic, I think it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Should make pretty quick work of this little pile I've got here beside me. I'll get this on the fire, get it burnt down. And next time you guys join me, I should be cooking dinner. And just so you know, this is how you baton brace. See how easy that is? I just got to give you some crap. I watched one of your videos and you looked like you were having a hard time of it. Good knife goes a long way. I've been watching a bunch of other YouTubers, especially the local Ohio guys. I like to come out here somewhere. I'd like to go to Mohican sometime, maybe, I don't know, Dolly Sod or something. I forget, I think that's West Virginia maybe, but, well, I'm hitting a knot. See how this works out for me. But I've been trying to leave in the comments, see who wants to go. I'd like to find out where some of those big get-togethers are, the just open invite stuff. I like to come out, but I ain't gonna lie, it's a little weird when you're laying in your tent about 3 o'clock in the morning and you're all by yourself. Hear the coyotes, hear stuff rustling in the woods. I had a buddy slated to go with me today. He canceled last minute, like most people do. Usually, if somebody wants to go, I got a little buddy bag packed. All they gotta do is show up. Hell, half time I'll even buy the beer, but this doesn't seem to be something a lot of people like to do. I don't know why, but it's a lot of fun. Enjoy yourself. A little mini vacation for the weekend. Especially if somebody's going to provide the gear and provide the beer. I mean, hell, why not? I don't know why you wouldn't want to go. If anybody's open to come out somewhere, especially Mohican, I want to go to Mohican. Somebody out there wants to go to Mohican with me, especially if you've been there and you know the layout and know right where we're going. That's one of the biggest reasons I haven't went there yet and always come here. I know right where everything is. When they do the trail maintenance, I know where they put all the wood, so I know where to get my firewood. I know where all the trails go. That's one of the biggest reasons I come here every time. It's comfortable, it's familiar. I sleep better because I know where everything is. I know what's going on. I know all the noises out here. I mean, heck, I know some of the trees where they squeak together because they're touching so close. I'd like to get out somewhere new. I don't want to say it's getting old out here, but you can only go to the same place so many times before you want to go somewhere new. So somebody can feel free to hit me up. Be nice if you had your own stuff, but especially anybody I actually know that lives in town. I'd like to get one winter trip in sometime. The only problem, I think I only have one 0-degree bag, so if it gets too cold, I couldn't supply everything for 2 people. Yeah, let me know, hit up the comments. Especially if you know some big open invite group outing somewhere. The only thing about a group outing, it'd be kind of weird going somewhere and going in the woods when you got 30 other people right over there at multiple campsites. I'm just finally getting comfortable with going out in the woods. Going in the woods, if you catch my drift. It is a little bit different. I know some of you guys know what I mean. If you're still watching at this point, if you like what I'm doing, do me a favor. Hit that like, subscribe button down there. It helps out a lot. It's always nice doing this stuff, and you see a new subscriber, or you see a lot of views on your videos. It means you're doing stuff people like. I like coming out just on my own, but I'd like to get enough subscribers and views if I can start doing some review videos, get some stuff sent to me. That'd be really nice. I see a lot of them other local Ohio guys, and they're getting all sorts of gear mailed to them, and they're testing stuff out. It'd be nice to get something in the mail every once in a while and have a whole other reason and have to go out because I got to go test some stuff and not just make sure I find some time for it. Have a real reason, a legit reason, something in the back of my head that kicks me in the butt and makes me go out and do this, because it's a little bit of prep work, get everything ready, and you got to make sure you got everything at home taken care of and time off work and all that stuff. That's a lot of the reason I do this is for you guys. Give you guys something to watch. I mean, I watch a lot of content, same guys over and over. There doesn't seem to be anything really new. It's nice every once in a while you find a new channel, and half the time you watch them a couple times and then it never suggests it again. If you don't end up subscribing, it's not there anymore. I don't know where it goes. That'll be pretty good for now. That'll give me a decent little fire going. Yeah, this little knife made pretty quick work of it. I like how wide it is. I mean, you can see it. It's a pretty wide knife. I want to say it was 5.5 inches or something, 5 3/4, something. It's kind of hard to find a knife that's much over like 4.5 inches. It's not too wide. It's fairly light. What I did have was a Gerber Strong Arm, and that knife is a beast. I love that knife. Love it, love it, love it. It's just, it's almost just a solid piece of a solid steel bar with an edge on it. The thing weighs like 20 pounds. I know I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but it's just such a heavy knife. It's not really made to take out into the woods for a little bit of batoning. I don't really need a hatchet. I almost brought a hatchet, but that's a little overkill for out here. There's always plenty of stuff you can find. No bigger than your wrist, just baton it down, have a nice little fire, not use a whole bunch of extra wood. I'm gonna see about getting me some coals and get dinner on here. Hopefully I can have dinner on before it gets dark. Every time I cook dinner, I'm doing it for you guys by headlamp. So I better get to it. Well, we still got a little bit of daylight. It's time for dinner. Clear some of this stuff out of the way here. We've got steak and potatoes again. I'll give you a real quick rundown. I ain't gonna do step by step, cut by cut, but this little guy, the Coghlan's Grill, I absolutely love this thing. Works really great for cooking over the coals. Another thing I found, this little plastic cutting board. It's about twice that big, but I cut it up into sections. So we're gonna pull out our pot here, our big pot. Here's my secret weapon for the potatoes. A little bit of Papa John's special seasoning. I love this stuff. It is awesome. So I'm gonna cut this potato up real quick. I got a new knife. Never owned an Opinel. I finally bought me one. These things are pretty nice little knives. I like them. This is what we're gonna use to cut our potato up. I try not to use the same knife on my food that I use for all my other camp chores, just because, I don't know, for me that's kind of gross. I'm just gonna real quick and dirty cube these things up. Make sure I don't cut myself. This Opinel, they come pretty sharp. I wouldn't say razor sharp, but they definitely lay you open if you catch yourself. If I get a little bit of dirt or something on there, it ain't gonna hurt. Heard somebody call that trail spice once, and I liked it. I adopted it. So if there gets any pine needles or whatever on there, it's just a little bit of trail spice and it'll be all right. Yeah, we'll leave that one like that. I'm gonna end up frying these. I usually boil them, about half boil them, so they fry up real good. Make sure I get all good chunks here. I got this cutting board because I did not want to use this brand new knife in my metal pan. I don't know where I got hair all over everything. Those big old chunks, ain't nothing scientific about it. Throw them in the pot as I go. A little bit of trail spice, never hurt nobody. I think this is the first time I've had this Opinel out. I've used it at home for tomatoes and cucumbers and probably Brussels sprouts and whatnot. These are pretty nice little knives. Fairly cheap. The Mora seems to be the gold standard for camping and backpacking. They are very nice knives, but there seems to be several other brands that nobody talks about that seem to be just as good for still a very decent price. I think these Opinels, this is, I want to say, a number 6 or something. It costs about the same, 15, 18 bucks or something as one of them Moras, but this little bit with the peel, we're going to feed that to something that's going to go over here away from the campsite. Won't hurt nothing. I'm going to put my rag, wipe my knife off. I might cut my steak on this too. I haven't decided. I really don't want to use this on the metal pan. Dull that edge up too fast. Set this here. A little bit of water with my potatoes. I'll put the seasoning in. I got some oil. I'll put that in when I fry them. I ain't got to fill it up. Just give it something to steam them up a little bit. We'll get those on. And the steak is, what is this, Angus tenderloin? Give you guys a real good view of this thing. This is a nice big old fat steak. I don't want to drop this on the ground, but you can see it's a nice chunk of meat. It'll taste good. Let's get these potatoes started so I can get the steak on. For me, doing campfire fried potatoes, as soon as the water starts to boil that lid off, I'll put them in the pan with a, I don't know, a little bit of oil. You'll see how much oil I use. And then they usually cook up pretty good. If you just put them in there, cut them up and put them in there, for me, they seem to burn before the insides are done. So I give them a real light boil, and then I fry them up, and they usually end up coming out pretty daggone good. And by the time I put them in the skillet to fry them, that's about the same amount of time it takes for the steak to be cooked. This lid should be boiling off here any time now. We were talking about trail spice earlier. I was putting a little more wood on the fire, and I knocked my potatoes over. You can see they went right in the fire. I didn't lose any potatoes. Well, 1 or 2 little chunks, but I've put some more water in there, but that's what I was talking about earlier. A little trail spice never hurt nobody. I went camping the last trip I went on. I ended up trying to dump the water out of my potatoes and dumped half, or if not almost all, my potatoes out. I don't think I even showed you guys any of that trip. Wasn't the best trip I've ever had. Wasn't a bad trip, just nothing ended up coming out very good on video. So I don't even think I put a video out for it. Hopefully you guys will see this one. I'll end up how it turns out after editing. Hopefully these potatoes will be done here pretty soon. I just dumped a bunch of water all over my fire, so, but it's catching again, so should put the steak on here pretty soon. We're boiling the lid off, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the pan, drain the water, put them in the pan, cook them with some oil, and get that steak on. All right, we've got the potatoes on. I've got them spiced up real nice, including that little bit of trail spice. I should have showed you guys when I dumped them out of the pan. There's a little bit of ash in there, but yeah, it won't kill nobody. It'll be all right. While those are frying, I'll get the steak on. Let you guys see what that steak looks like here in a second. Tell me, how good does that look? If if you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. We've got a big old Angus tenderloin, fried potatoes going. This is going to be some good campfire food. All right, we're going to check our food, and we're going to plate it up and make sure I don't spill it again. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, for a fire, that's probably medium well, but let's look at the other pieces. Look how soft that is. That is going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's medium well, but I'll cut a piece open here and show it to you. Oh, smoke's getting my eyes. How's that look? You can't tell me that don't look pretty good. Look how soft that is. I can almost cut that with my fork. I might try a piece. Watch. Hopefully you guys can see this. Oh yeah, it's gonna cut right with a fork. That's a heck of a steak right there. Oh man, that's good. Good, good. Plate up my potatoes, and I'm good to go, buddy. Make sure the handle's not too hot. Oh, dude. Check out the potatoes. Can you guys see this? I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. Oh man, them's fried taters right there, buddy. Make sure I get all that good crunchy stuff off the bottom. That's good stuff, buddy. I'm gonna put this all on the same plate and start eating. Bon appetit, ladies and gentlemen. All right, camp dishes for right now. I'm not going to scrape all that off there. I'm going to put it back on the fire, get a nice high heat, put a little bit of water in it, and let the water do all the work and boil everything off there. Should be pretty good. I've done this a couple times. All I do is fill the bottom of it, get all that crunchy stuff out of there. Yeah, that'll work. Put some more sticks on there. Get it nice and hot, get it boiling. It'll all come right out of there. Come on, tell me that don't look pretty good. I might have to get a picture of this. That is pretty daggone good. I'll get with you guys here in a minute. Real quick, we'll do two things in one. The first one, my best friend for a campfire, pocket bellows. These things are awesome. They're basically just large radio antennas. They'll expand. It's for a fire like this. You can poke the fire with them. You can blow on the fire. You can see I have no fire right now. It's still hot. There's still plenty of coals in there. There's just no actual flame. So I'll use this and get a flame going. The second, my camp dishes, I've got some water in there. I'm going to boil everything and then wipe it right out. Instead of washing it, I don't have any running water and a very limited amount of water. So let's get this fire going first. getting pretty hot now. One thing you got to make sure of, that you don't suck air back in, because whatever air is there is very hot. Pocket bellows is one of your best friends around the campfire. Whoops. Throw that guy back in there. Well, good morning, all you beautiful people. Good night last night. Slept pretty good. The only thing I got left to do this morning, drink my cup of coffee. Good morning, all you beautiful people. It's a pretty good night last night. Slept pretty good. Pad worked out great. Sleeping bag was probably a little bit of overkill for what temperature it was, but I was just fine. In the morning, I unzipped just a little bit. The only thing left for me, pack up my stuff, drink this cup of coffee, get out of here and get on the road home. Thanks for coming along on another adventure with me. Hopefully we'll see you next time.